Workplace harassment. Workplace harassment is a form of employment discrimination prohibited by a number of state and federal statutes. It is a pattern of physical or verbal conduct which a reasonable employee would regard as undesirable or offensive, and which is both severe and extensive enough to actually interfere with the employee's work performance. Although your company has a policy prohibiting sexual harassment specifically, this is not the only type of prohibited harassment. Unlawful harassment prohibited. Your company strictly prohibits unlawful harassment against employees or any other persons based on their race, religion, creed, national origin, ancestry, sex, including pregnancy, gender, including gender nonconformity and status as a transgender or transsexual individual, age, physical or mental disability, citizenship, veteran status, genetic information, past, current, or prospective service in the uniformed services, or any other characteristic protected under applicable federal, state, or local law. This harassment is often similar to sexual harassment and includes verbal harassment, for example, nicknames, slurs that in any way relate to race, derogatory comments or jokes, intimidating, threatening, or profane language. Physical harassment, for example, pranks, practical jokes, other disorderly conduct, assault or inappropriate physical contact, threatening acts. Visual harassment, for example, displaying derogatory posters, cartoons, drawings, or making derogatory gestures. Online harassment, for example, derogatory statements or sexually suggestive postings in any social media platform including Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, etc. These are just some forms of harassment. Be advised that no form of harassment will be tolerated. Harassment is prohibited both at the workplace and at employer-sponsored events. This includes harassment outside the workplace that is brought into the workplace. Here's some examples. Javier, Susie, and Jane are all co-workers. Javier and Susie were out one day and saw Jane walking into a church. Later that night at work, Javier and Susie started teasing Jane about being a churchgoer and a Bible thumper. Is this harassment? Yes. Jane doesn't like to be teased about her religious beliefs. She needs to report the incident immediately to her supervisor. John's boyfriend Ben came into the restaurant with his family and requested to sit in John's section. Some of the staff were shocked because they didn't know John was gay. Later that night, someone left an obscene drawing of two men together on one of John's tables. Is this harassment? Yes. John should immediately take the drawing off the table to turn it into management for investigation. One of the managers was preparing the schedule for the week. Derek, a server, overheard the manager talking about another staff member. The manager said he didn't want to schedule Christy to work because she's so old. The manager joked that Christy may need a walker soon. Christy is 50. What should the server do? Derek should report the comments to another manager or human resources department. Even though Christy wasn't there to hear the comments, Derek did hear them. The comments were discriminatory and harassing based upon Christy's age. Lisa and Samantha get into an argument at work. After work, Lisa goes onto her personal social media pages and posts complaints about Samantha. She makes fun of Samantha by calling her names. Although Lisa doesn't use Samantha's real name, everyone in the workplace knows Lisa is talking about Samantha. Is this harassment? Yes. These kinds of comments on social media are considered harassment and cause an intimidating work environment. Comments about the workplace, coworkers, your boss, customers, or vendors should not be posted on social media. Samantha, or anyone else who viewed Lisa's posts, should report the incident to management immediately. What your company expects from you. Your company strives to create a fun and non-threatening work environment for all managers and employees. Issues such as harassment based on any of the above-listed impermissible factors can detract from this positive experience and does not comply with the operating values and philosophy. Your company expects that you will not simply suffer through undesirable or offensive conduct in silence, or permit other employees to suffer through such conduct without reporting it. Whether or not you are certain that another person's behavior actually constitutes harassment, it is your responsibility to report it directly to management as soon as possible after the incident occurs. Where the possibility of violence is an immediate concern, report to management at once. You should not be subjected to a threatening or violent individual. Further, your company specifically discourages you from engaging in any physical confrontation with a violent or potentially violent individual. If you are subjected to any conduct that you believe violates the anti-harassment policy or witness any such conduct, you are required to promptly report it to your direct supervisor or, if the conduct involves your direct supervisor, report to the Human Resources Department. Your complaint should be as detailed as possible, including the names of all individuals involved and any witnesses. You must report any incidents you believe may constitute harassment based on sex, race, color, national origin, ethnicity, religion, age, disability, veteran status, or other category protected by law. Additionally, any manager or supervisor who observes harassing conduct is required to report the conduct to the Human Resources Department so that an investigation can be made and corrective action taken if appropriate. No retaliation. The company strictly prohibits any form of discipline, reprimand, intimidation, or retaliation for good faith reporting of incidents of harassment of any kind, pursuing any harassment claim, or cooperating in related investigations. For more information on your company's policy prohibiting harassment or retaliation, please refer to its policies and procedures or contact the Human Resources Department.